Now today I'm finally going to get to do a preliminary dry fit on if the muffler that Chris got and the head pipe that Luciano gave me are going to be adaptable. I'm going to have to make a pipe, get a pipe, buy a pipe, smoke a pipe, everywhere a pipe. I don't have a full day to work on this, but I do have enough time this morning to take the old exhaust system off and do what amounts to be a dry fit just to see what bracketing I have to make, what bolts I'm going to need, what adapters I'm going to need to adapt the pipes. Again, we're trying to put a stock R6 muffler that will need to be rehabbed, and I will do the rehab on a separate video. But the first thing I need to do, step one today, will be step one of the project, is just see, or maybe it's not going to fit at all. I don't know. Yet these are the mysteries of life that you don't know. Now, putting the Norton muffler on the 750, and when the Norton muffler, I had the Yoshimura on here, and I had the Norton, you could you'd squeeze it, it was adaptable. Now, this one is from a totally different series of bikes. It should be a little more restrictive, which will make up for not having an EXUP valve, I hope. And the biggest thing is, I hope it's going to be quieter, because I've been doing a lot of riding in this very, very nice area that there's a lot of houses, and I just like going in stealth. Now, what's happened is, since riding the black bike that's so quiet, you don't even hear the engine sometimes on video, I've gotten spoiled with being able to sneak into these neighborhoods and not have anybody know I'm there. It's kind of spoiled me. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the bike into position under the fan, get the fans going, feed the fish, feed the banana trees, and get everything ready here. I want to just do, this will be just a preliminary dry fit. And I just want to thank Alan Milliard. I've been watching his channel religiously. He made a turbo exhaust muffler, and he adapted a pipe down in a very unique way on that. And I said, wow, that's good information. I can use that in the future if I ever start making exhaust systems. For right now, I just like to say, and thank you, Alan. That's some good information, very entertaining, and it's just amazing to me, the stuff you do. But here's the big thing. My thing in life, I don't have machine shop capability. I can't weld. I have to do everything with, well, first off, we're gonna see if this fits. Step one is always just see where you are and try to figure out what parts of this are gonna be difficult or impossible, or that I'm gonna have to invent the wheel over here. I don't know. But that's the thrill of having old motorcycles. So for anybody new to our channel, this is an 91. I always get it confused, the green bike and the yellow one. This is a 91 FZR that originally came with an EXUP valve, like a flapper valve in the exhaust. That, of course, was replaced with a Yoshimura exhaust, a full race exhaust. We had used the bike for track days, I think 3 or 4 years, but I'm not sure. And it doesn't even matter. We had gotten the bike extremely cheap. I did an original renovation on it, painted it red, track dated it, registered it for the street. And the bottom line is I fell in love with the bike. I really liked this bike. Is very easy to fall in love with. But of course, time went by, 4, 5, 6 years, and we reached last winter, actually 2 winters ago, we did a full restoration. Every part of it, from the fairing, the forks, the wheels, the rims, it's all on my channel on previous videos. Now, originally with the Yoshimura, the full race exhaust, it was really, really loud. This is halfway loud, but what I'm looking to do is make it much more like a stock bike would be. And this, of course, is, Chris had gotten me this part. Luciano gave me an extra head pipe, a mid pipe. I don't know, when I originally did this, I had to make that bracket from scratch. I'm sure I'll have to make something here, but the way that mounts on an FZR and the way it mounts on an R6 may be totally different. Well, but that's the challenge to doing this. But I'm not really going to get this mounted up today. What I'm going to do is try to find out what parts I'm going to need, so when I actually do get to do it, it's more than one step. Once I get it on the bike and it's bolted on and I can start the engine and listen to it and blah, 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 blah. The next thing would be, then I will take it off. I want to restore that finish. I want to polish that part of it, assuming we use that part or we don't have to replace it. But that'll be a whole separate job to make it, to restore the finish. And I've got some real nice ideas of how to do that. That'll be interesting to see how it works. But there's no point in doing that if it doesn't fit on a bike. Or if you put it on a bike and it isn't a lot quieter than this muffler, what's the point? I was slated today to go into the mid-90s, and I've got my big fan going, my little fan, and I'm not sure it helps much. Just like when you're riding on a hot day, it's like sitting in front of a hairdryer. Now step one, there's one bolt holding it there. I'm going to try to maintain the joint and just take this all off in one piece, and then there's one clamp underneath there. So, and that should get the old exhaust system off, and let me look at them side by side, get some idea of what I'm going to have to do. But before I get started, most important thing, take care of the garden. It's certainly going to be a big job staying cool today and feeding the fish. So I spoke to Luciano about this, and we were talking about Alan Millyard, and he said, pretty funny, you guys both feed the birds. He said, I wonder if Alan has a fish pond or a tropical fish tank. Alan, do you have a fish pond? So the initial part of this was actually just removing the clamps here is going to be, well, let's see if we can do this easy way. Now every one of these bolts is Loctited, so they're really annoying. They don't just come out by hand. And all this bracketing I made the original time from 2024 aluminum. It's held up pretty well. It's actually done a good job, but I know one thing for sure. The new stuff's not going to just jump right on here, that's for sure. Now originally this was the rear foot peg mount, which I cut the piece off, polished it, made this bushing that's in here, and at the time it was quite a big job getting this and making it look nice and factory looking, and of course at the end polishing everything. And that was the bushing that had to be machined for that, which maybe we'll be using over, maybe not, I don't know. It's all a mystery until you do a dry fit, and today's goal is to just do a dry fit. Okay, so the muffler's off in one piece. We have an adapter for this muffler that's in here, and we don't know if we're going to use that, but we'll take that off also. Okay, and with that, the old pipe and clamps are off. And even if we put this exhaust system back on, because of course we want to be able to do this, this is an evil twin project, that'll give me an opportunity to polish this whole pipe up again. So we get a chance to look at the differences, and it could be that we can adapt one head pipe. This is why I just wanted to have a lot of parts in stock. And in the worst of all worlds, I'm going to have to make that pipe or get it, or have Alan Millyard make it for me. So what happens is the pipe that Luciano gave me is not got the correct bend in it. It doesn't have what I need. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to see if the pipe that was on here is any better. And then if that isn't the case, then I'm going to have to find a pipe that is, because what's going to happen is this is going to be the mid pipe that it's going to have to be customized. So the preliminary, after sanding and grinding and trying to clean that up, it looks like the original pipe that we used with the Norton mufflers fits better than that one. But I think I have another head pipe. I'm going to have to look in my muffler box there. And I've got a bunch of muffler pipes. I don't see another head pipe though. But we certainly got other choices if this doesn't work out. And this is where it gets to be a big decision, because we don't want to cut anything we don't have to cut. But it looks like if I cut that pipe, if I get rid of this front of the pipe, of course it's a different diameter, so that's a problem. But I would have to make some kind of custom clamp there, and that would be the issue. No, I just put a bolt temporarily in there just to hold that in some kind of relative place. This looks like it'll clear the foot pegs just about the way I expected it would. Neither one of the head pipes fit, so that's an easy thing. We can eliminate that. But let me show you how close this is, but we need to get a special piece of pipe. So we're this much away from having this, and the only problem is it looks like this would be a straight piece of pipe. It's not. It has a very unique bend in it that I'm going to have to fiddle around with, or at some future time I'm going to have to figure out exactly what that bend is, and well, maybe get a custom piece of pipe made or whatever, or maybe cut one of these, sacrifice one of these other pipes. Well, I got to think about this, but so far that looks like that'd be a doable thing. It's only getting this connection that's going to be a problem. So the way this is starting to play out, here's a multiple set of problems that I have to work around. I need a very slight bend here. This amount of bend is way too much. This looks like it might be enough or close to it. So I have to sacrifice one of these pipes to do it, and this is the one that it's not part of the Norton thing, so I guess we're going to sacrifice this. Let's just see, the bend is there. That would go in that much, that would leave me that much. So now once I have a pattern, and then I can go to maybe the Midas muffler or something and get a piece bent. I'm not sure. I know this is too much. I know this is not quite enough, but we're going to have to see. So I'm going to have to hacksaw this piece off, then see if one end fits in here, and then see if this does match up, make some kind of a clamp for this end. Now you really don't see this on the video, but it took me quite a while to get this piece, which just has the slightest little bend in it. Not a lot either. Now, what I'm hoping is going to happen, and I carefully ground just enough away that I've got kind of a press fit here. I don't want to hammer it in. I want to have it a little bit loose. Because what this is a flexible gasket. I took the clamp off, and I'll be able to do this. Just put a little bit of a bend in it and tighten that down. I hope. See, this is all I hope. Now, the other side is going to be, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make a butt joint, make a custom clamp. I have parts, extra parts. I have a whole extra R1 exhaust system, so I may have a clamp that'll work on this end. But before I can do anything, I've got to be able to get this end, so these two pipes marry up, and I'm in a pretty close to where the hanger should be, and then hopefully be able to just move this just enough. Once I get it in position, I'll mark it with the engraving tool and hammer it in a little bit and hope that clamp is going to be sufficient. Well, the whole idea now to make this butt joint, I don't know. It's not going to slide over it, so I'm going to have to make the equivalent of a clamp or something. And if I knew what it was, this wouldn't have taken all day. This was a day well spent, though, because once these parts are, I call it manufactured, once I know this fits, and that's all I really want to do today. Then, or if this doesn't have enough bend, then I can take this piece the next time I'm at AutoZone or Pep Boy and find a piece of pipe has a gradual bend and then take pie cuts out of it. But I know pretty much this is real close to what I'm going to need right now. Well, it's close but no cigar. I got to look around for another piece of pipe. Maybe I can make a piece a little bit longer. What's going to happen, I'm trading away clearance around the foot peg here for how much clearance I have at the bottom, and I think just a little bit longer piece of pipe is going to do it. You basically can see how close it is right now. I just need to, well, luckily I have that rest of that pipe I can butcher up and see if I can make this happen. Now the idea is I want, as an absolute last resort, cut this piece up, because I want to keep this whole exhaust system that I can bolt this right back on. That's the whole idea of an evil twin project. Now, the first day ends of fitting this up, and I can see I have two choices here. And I think I'm going to go get some pipe tomorrow or the next day. I need a piece of pipe with a very slight bend in it, number one, to do what I want to do. And then all that's going to buy me is that I won't have to make another bracket here. I can use the original bracket. So it's easier for me to just go buy a small piece of pipe. And pretty much the connection looks like it's going to be okay. And once I have this all mounted up, and I think I can do that in the next session, the next day. But what I do want to do is make this, if I make this piece an inch longer and I don't have a piece an inch longer, then I don't even have to make a bracket. That back piece will line up. So it's the lesser of two evils. And I'll have time, I hope, in the next couple days just to run down to AutoZone and get that material that I need. But for the first day, I'd count this as pretty successful. Worked out pretty good, I guess. I guess I shouldn't complain. I have the two choices I have two choices to make this fit. A longer piece of pipe is going to allow that to fit right in the stock bracket, although I anticipated having to make a bracket. Well, but I want to have both choices in the very end. So what I'm going to do is tomorrow, Karen has some appointments we have to take care of in the morning, and part of that is I'll stop by AutoZone, pick up a couple of pieces of pipe, hopefully some with some gradual bends. And I think there might be a muffler shop somewhere near here where I can get a piece custom bent if I have to. I really don't know. We're going to have to see. But it looks like that's going to work. Now, what's good about it is I haven't touched the original exhaust system. It's still there for the evil twinning of this. And for that future time that you want to go back to having a little bit louder exhaust, and maybe that'll be tomorrow. I don't know. That's the whole thing with old motorcycles. There's always something changing, something different. And if you don't enjoy that, well, then there's a choice. You go to Motorcycle Mall and just buy a new bike. Anyway, I wanted to thank the healthcare workers every day. Every day that I either work on a shop or ride or both. Some days I do both, or do my yard work, or feed my fish or birds, or watch Alan Milliard's channel. I'm thankful that those people have kept us safe, and thank you guys. So I hope you did enjoy the video. I enjoy making them. Hope you enjoy watching them. Share them with your friends or your enemies or people that don't like motorcycles. And what can I say? Thanks a lot for watching.